ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Politi-tics on a Saturday night. I'm Dark MAGA Jake, your host, and this is Politi-tics. How is everybody? Have you got any snow yet? We got ice, not snow. Wearing the Dark MAGA hat again. It's nice. I like it. It's a nice hat. It's a big hat, though. It's really big for my head. Oh. Amanda says, hi, Untethered Live family. Good to see y'all. I hope everyone had a good day. Hi, Jake. How are you tonight? Full. Birthday stuff, you know. It was Amanda's birthday today, so we celebrated here at the house. It's very nice. Rachel says hi and happy birthday. Nice. Amanda says, Rachel, here's your gold star. And Amanda says hi. Rachel, and thanks. And Fab Daddy says, happy birthday, Banhammer. Right on. You gonna sing her happy birthday? I will. Amanda says, hi, Fab, thanks. Yep, it was kind of a wild night last night. It just kept going and going and going. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to go to bed, but I couldn't stop because I have that affliction. But we got some good conversation out of it and a couple of new members, so that's good. Fantastic. Always good to get a good conversation going. I love a good conversation. Don't really have anything to talk about tonight because we talked about it last night. So, whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm game. Whatever you want to talk about. What was the Energizer? It was the Energizer Bunny, says Amanda. Okay. I don't know what you mean, but he is kind of uppity, so maybe he is at fault. I feel like that hat looks like another head on top of my head. It's way bigger than my other hats. It's really weird. I like it, though. It's like one of those giant, ironic truck driver hats. Oh, last night, yep. Yep, it was definitely an interesting crowd last night. Lots of people coming from every direction with all kinds of thoughts and ideas. I love that when that happens. Always love a good conversation, especially when people start pushing back and, you get in an argument. I like that a lot. A lot of people seem to think that when I'm arguing with them, that means that there's something wrong. No, that's the idea. I want an argument. I want to hear the ideas. I want to hear the thoughts, and I want to present my own. That's not bad. Arguing isn't wrong. Patty Donahue says, hi, I'm in. Hey, Patty. Amanda says, hi. Fab Daddy says, I want to talk about how you pissed me off last night. Stop. Think California is so easy to rake. I didn't say it was easy. It would have been if you'd have done it, but I never said it was easy there, Fab Dan. I'm sorry if that pissed you off. California sucks. I'm sorry. That shouldn't piss you off. You should be able to see that. I apologize for pissing you off, but no, I didn't say it was an easy task. It just needs to be done. And if they would get on doing it, they wouldn't have any forest fires. Oh, my Lord. We disagree about my state. Well, you can disagree all you want. That's the beauty of having free speech. You have your own man. You can have your own opinions, thoughts, and ideas. They don't have to line up with mine. You only do that if you're intelligent. Everybody can't be intelligent. California is a beautiful state. In some places it is, yes. It's also a very poorly managed state. It has nothing to do with its beauty. And Gavin Newsom has run it into the ground. And that's what's wrong with California. It's not the beauty. I'm sure that the state is fine. But the crazy people that are running California, it's not a good idea. You'll see. If you hadn't seen it already, you'll see. And yes, if they would get out there and deforest and clean up the forest floor have some volunteers, maybe put those homeless people to work that you got so many of. Give them a job. There's one right there. Go pick up some leaves. It's not that hard. We'll pay you minimum wage. Go do it. How about that? Solve the problem. If you pick up the entire forest floor, we'll build you a little house in the forest. Sounds good, right? Be like automatic groundskeepers. Surely they can do that while drinking Mad Dog 2020, you think? Shooting heroin into their veins. Surely they can rake. I know a lot of tweakers, they rake. Probably couldn't do it with a rake, though. Probably have to have some kind of bush hog or something. But anyway, I do apologize for you being upset. Living in California tends to make people butthurt for some reason. I don't know why. Fab Daddy says, by the way, we can't fit 6. We can fit 6 North Carolinas in our great state of California. Okay. And so explain to me again why you have so many homeless people. If you got so much space, so much big space, we don't have that many homeless people. So what's the problem with that? Fab Daddy says, I read that one. Rio Ray. Hello, Rio Ray. Welcome to the show. He says, hello, man. God bless you and your family. Stay safe and handsome. Thank you, Rio. Welcome to the show. Come on in. Hit that subscribe button. It's good for you. Fab Daddy says, it's a big state. It is big. But big is not necessarily good. There's a lot of empty space in California where there's nobody at. Why? Everybody's huddled up around the cities. That's why. Why? Because they don't think they know any better. Tonight's episode is brought to you by this here hot cup of coffee. It's lukewarm at best, but it's coffee. Don't you want to have a cup with me and talk about deforesting California? If so, go to the kitchen and pour yourself up a nice hot cup of coffee and let's get this conversation rolling. If you don't have a cup, you can get one in the description below. I recommend the first one. It does have my face on it. It is fantastic. And also, like, subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats are available in the chat box if you want to show a little love, throw a little birthday money this way or whatever you want to do. I appreciate that. Also, hit that like button. And go check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/UntetheredLive family. All right, I did it. Since I had a crazy long podcast last night, I'm going to do a short one tonight so you guys can relax. I'm just going to chill out because I can't go for 4 hours, 5 hours like I did. That's ridiculous. I don't get no sleep when I do that. What, Fab Daddy, since you live there, no, California is not remote. Since you live there, maybe you should be thinking of something to do with all these land masses, something to do with all of these places where there are no people. You might have a call in there. I don't hold a grudge. You can hate all you want to hate in my state. I don't hate your state. I've never been to California. You understand? I have no animosity towards California. Now, the people that run California, that's a different story. I don't much care for them. But California is just a state, man. It didn't do anything to me. I wouldn't live there. I can tell you that. I had a chance to go to California a couple months back when I got my new guitars. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. I say, leave them alone. Every time people get into the wilderness, they screw it up. Probably. Yeah. Well, Trump has some ideas. Maybe they should listen to him. I don't know. Who knows, man? It could be as simple as, I don't know. I know I don't like seeing all those fires, and I don't like seeing all those people burning and their stuff. I don't like that. I don't like seeing shit in the streets, and I don't like seeing garbage, human garbage everywhere, and I just don't like it. That's more like San Francisco. And, of course, they did clean it up when that president of China came by. Thought that was interesting. They got that done lickety-split. They got that done in 24 hours. Boom. It was there. So how did they do that? How did they do that and they can't do it now? Well, the object is you got to want to. Yeah, you can clean up the streets if you want to clean up the streets, if you deem something valuable enough to clean up the streets, but those leaders do not care about the people that live there. Therefore, they don't see it as a valuable thing to clean up the streets, is why they don't do it. Makes sense to me. Fab Daddy says, I didn't like seeing the mountains get washed away where you live. I didn't like that either. Not at all. That was an unpredicted hurricane that did that, and people are still suffering from that. That was a bad thing. But also, that wouldn't have been such a problem had we had leadership that would handle their business. Because, to my knowledge, FEMA still hasn't contacted the people that lost their homes and their lives and all that. Walter Davis, Linda Davis is in the house. She says, hi all, and Walter says, good evening, everybody. Nice. It's me says, what's up, YouTubers? What's up, it's me? Nice to see you. Good cup. A little strong. Amanda says, hi, Walter, Linda, and it's me. So anyway, there's people talking about taking Greenland and the Gulf of Mexico and Canada and the Panama Canal. What do you think about that? Do you think it's hyperbole? Do you think that Trump has a plan? Do you think that these things are strategic because of the wars that we find ourselves in? Do you think that we're having real problems right now and Trump knows things we don't know? Is that what you think? Or do you think he's actually talking about taking those places like it sounds like he's talking about? Because I don't think he is. I think he's using it to get people's attention and to scare people. That's what I think. Because he's done that before. Linda says, hi, Amanda Hart. And Fab Daddy says, anytime we expect government to work for us, we get horrible service. It's just a fact. Yeah, but it shouldn't be. I mean, that's literally the only job they're supposed to be doing. All this other stuff, which is why I think Doge is a good idea, all the stuff that they do, all the things that they're involved in, they're not supposed to be. That's not government job. That's private sector stuff. So I don't know. Walter says, I think he's getting a rise out of everyone. Yeah, I think so too. I think he's using those statements just like he does when he says something crazy on about Rosie O'Donnell on an interview or something. He does that to get people to look at him. That's a thing that is a technique that he has. And when everybody's looking at him, he's got free reign of the place, and it didn't cost him anything. And I think that's fantastic. I think it's a great way of doing it that other people just hadn't seen yet. Obviously, he doesn't mean it, but it is getting everybody to pay attention. So maybe there's something going on in those places that need attention. I hope that's what it is. I'm giving him a little bit of benefit of the doubt here because I don't really know. Sorry, a little under the weather today. I don't really know. I don't know what's going on with the guy, but he did a pretty good job last time, so I'm going to stick with him. Fab Daddy says, I like how he chatted with Obama during the funeral service of Carter. Well, they are presidents. They have something in common. They would talk to each other. It's Me says, what do you think of Garth Brooks' song selection at a church funeral? I think that church funerals are largely overrated. I don't like them. I don't like the whole wake aspect of funerals. I don't like people crying over bodies. And the Bible says to rejoice when people go back to Father and mourn when they're born into the earth because they got to live here. So I don't personally agree with funeral behavior. I think it should be real short and sweet and get them in the ground and go away and have a party. That being said, a funeral is usually staffed by people that knew the dead person, and they probably like music. So if you want to play a Garth Brooks song at a funeral, that's fine with me. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't like Garth Brooks. I think he's a little sissified. I used to like him, but he changed. He had a gay sister, and it all went downhill. Anyway, yeah, there's no problem with that. If he wants to play Garth Brooks or heavy metal or whatever the guy, I mean, you're honoring the dead, so whatever he liked, play that. It's all right with me. I don't think God cares. Walter says it's the start of negotiations. In the end, Greenland will have our military bases. Panama will let us run the canal again, and Canada will do whatever he says. See, I agree with that. I think that's probably right. I don't know, but I think that's probably right. And what a fine job that would be if he could get that done. He got rid of Trudeau, so that's something right off the bat. That would be Fidel Castro's illegitimate son, Fidel Castro. He's not Fidel Castro's son. Have you ever seen a picture of that guy? Hold them up side by side. They are identical. If that ain't his son, somebody knew somebody in the whole thing. That's all I'm saying. There was some hanky-panky going on. I can't see another way to see it. Oh, I got one of these to do. Hang on. This is a tradition. All right, everybody, gather around, gather around. Hey, Mandy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Bandhammer. Happy birthday to you. We sat around the house and did nothing for your birthday but sleep, try to sleep, and drop guitars. All right, happy birthday. That's for you. I didn't do the other thing because I did that already. Hey, I didn't tell you to go off. There. All right. Monkey Juice says, just more Trump nonsense. What's nonsense? Fab Daddy says, I'm busy cooking dinner, pork chops and cream of mushroom soup with rice and cream corn. That sounds good, except for the cream corn. I can't get over that. It looks like somebody threw up on my plate. I like whole kernel corn, but whatever. Hey, Monkey Juice, and what's nonsensical about what Trump has done? Linda Davis says, happy birthday, Amanda. Monkey Juice says, hi, Amanda. Happy birthday, says Walter. And Amanda says, thank you. Amanda deserves it. She's 44 years old. And she's been working hard this year, so I'm real proud of her. Making sure that the chat is smooth. Making sure that everybody gets their answers to questions. Make sure that everybody gets the email addresses when it don't pop up. I'm telling you, I didn't ask her to do any of that. She did it, and it works. It's great. So I appreciate that. Oh, Patty says, happy birthday, Amanda, Miss Amanda. It's me says 4 inches of ice and snow at 17 degrees last night. Yeah, it got pretty cold here, too, last night, like 22, something like that. But it didn't snow. I don't know why. There's ice all over the place, little chunks of ice. It looks like somebody was out there with a grinder and just grinding a block of ice. It's weird. No snow. Weird. Fab Daddy says, did Amanda get a cake? Not yet. I told you we stayed in bed all day. Monkey Juice says, you skipped my first comment. I guess I did. I'm sorry. Let me go back and see what it was. I don't see it, buddy. You sure YouTube didn't pull it out? That has happened. Oh, here we go. Monkey Juice says, Canada says, and a snowball in hell. And Greenland says, we're good. Right on. Yeah, I don't think they want to fight for Greenland. I think that they don't have any right to Greenland, the people being from Denmark that occupy that place. I don't think they own it. I don't think they have any right to it. And I don't think they want to go to court over it because they will lose it. Trump doesn't just get itchy for things that he can't get, right? So he already knows the angle on that. So I don't think they want to fight it. I think they're just going to agree with whatever he says, and that'll probably work in his favor because I'm guessing he wants Greenland for something strategic. They don't care to have it. He just wants to use it. Oh, do. Amanda says, and taking care of you. LOL. That's a full-time job. LOL. You ain't got to call me out like that. Good gracious. Yes, it is a full-time job because I am eccentric, apparently. We have bases in Greenland, says Monkey Juice. That doesn't mean that we're using them. That doesn't mean they're functional. Isme says, got up to 36 today. Gotta love Michigan. Right on. 36? It's not that bad. I think it got up in the low 40s today. Maybe, I don't think it went above 40, but it's right there at it. And then it went right back down into the tank. So it was just cold. It was just shivery out there. Walter says the Arctic ice is not closing up in the winter like it used to, and it's becoming a ship short out Arctic lands. It's becoming a ship short out Arctic lands. We'll be very strategic in the future. I got you. I see what you're saying. They're going to use that area to move through the ice. Got it. Monkey Juice says Denmark has owned Greenland for 600 years. Now, I don't think they own it. I don't think they have rightful ownership to it. Maybe one day you'll learn that I know things and, you'll see. But I don't think they have rightful ownership to it. There is a NORAD base in Greenland. Really? I'd say I've never been to Greenland. I don't have any idea what's there. Is Greenland the one with ice, or is it the one that's green? Because I think they're named backwards. Iceland is green, and Greenland is icy. I think that's the way that works. It's me says, Trump preparation for World War. No, he's not going to be putting us in World War. I don't buy that. I think Trump is dead set on not being a president that puts us in another useless war. And I think 90% of America doesn't want another useless war. I don't think we want to put our kids in that situation ever again. I think we've learned our lesson about that nonsense. And I don't think that's the way the world's going to go if Trump has anything to do with it. Now, the deep state may have him pretzeled up and not be able to stop anything that's going to happen like they did last time. That's possible. And if that happens, guess what? We're going to war. But hopefully he can fix it. Walter says, nope, I think he's just trying to keep open shipping lanes. It's possible. I don't know. I know we're having trouble with shipping lanes. There's a lot of boats out there in the ocean just sitting there. Linda says, Greenland is ice. Got it. Yeah, they got them named backwards. Whoever did that should probably be admonished or something and switch the names back so everybody knows what to expect. Fab Daddy says, my Canadian friends laugh at Trump's claims of the 51st state. I just want to know how Canada is going to pay for our health care if it becomes a state. Well, you know what? I have learned to not underestimate Trump when he says something, because if you go back and look at the statistics, about 95% of the time when Trump makes an outlandish claim, it happens. And then everybody's left picking up the pieces and feeling really ashamed that they said, no way that could happen. I can show you video after video after video of people saying, there's no way he's going to be president. There's no way he can do that. There's just that. No way. Don't underestimate that man. If he puts his mind to something, I promise you he'll get it done. If it's at all possible, he'll get it done. It's all about keeping distance from our enemies. He said so, says Monkey Juice. That's possible. It's me, says, we know what's coming. What scriptures say. That's right. We know what's coming. Unfortunately, Trump ain't got nothing to do with that. And that's a war that has been planned for a long time, and it's going to happen. But that war is a righteous war, not like the ones we've been fighting. Nady78 says, Trump is a crypto Jew and a pedo. You're wrong, Nady. Nafy. That's not correct. Either one. Trump doesn't know what crypto is. He's just listening to smarter people than him offer advice. And he's not a pedophile. That's been proven extensively. The fact that you think that is ridiculous. Amanda says, hi, Naffy. Welcome. Mishu says, what about the fire? Hold on. My chat jumped. And my nose is stopped up. Oh, he took it. Okay. Me stew. Is that what it says? Me stew? Or me shoe? If you retract messages, I can't read them. Walter says, when the Vikings got their Iceland, when the Vikings got there, Iceland was glaciers and Greenland was green. And then about 500 years ago, the Atlantic convoy changed and Iceland melted and Greenland froze. I could see that happening. So much for global warming, but whatever. What it is, as top military will make that decision on war or not. I think so, too. And I think that's a shame. They're supposed to work at the pleasure of the president, and they are not doing that. None of them are. Amanda says, hi, Mishu, welcome. Fab Daddy says, I pray the winds remain calm in L.A. Me, too. I hope that no more fire spread, and I hope you guys get that under control. It's me, says California burning up with insurance canceling coverage just right before the event. That's not good. That means they're beholden to pay for all of the damage out of their pockets. And around here, that would mean we don't have a home. So, Monkey Juice says, Greenland also has lithium reserves. Really? That's interesting. That's probably something he's interested in. What with all the cell phones and electric cars these days. Mr. P's in the house. What's up, brother? He says, hey, brothers and sisters, just checking in. Back to work full time, thank God. God bless. Mr. P, God bless you, too. I hope you had a good Christmas and holiday. Happy New Year's. And wish Amanda a happy birthday. It's her birthday today. Fab Daddy says, how many generals do you think Trump will fire after the 20th? I hope all of them. I don't even know how many generals there are. I have no idea. I know that the ones that we've seen on TV are a mess. They don't need to be generals. Like General Milley, that guy's a snake in the grass. I think really hardened soldiers should be generals. Just my opinion. Mishu, sorry. I asked about the fire in L.A., and you think that it happened accidentally. I don't think it's an accident, no. I have no proof of that, Mishu, but it doesn't look like an accident to me. And when things burn wildly, there's usually a reason for it. Oh, Mr. P hit me with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Mr. P. God bless you, sir. Walter says the Vikings were mining copper. Well, yeah, they knew about metal smelting and folding and things like that. And they also knew about alloys. Amanda says, hi, Mr. P, congratulations. And Dana said to tell you hi, and she is praying for you. I forgot. Yes, remember when you asked me to pass a message on to Dana about hello and hearts and all that stuff? Well, I did, and she passed it back. So there's dialogue there. I'm telling you, if you play your cards right there, Mr. P, you might have you a nice lady. Happy birthday to you, Amanda says what it is. Thank you. Amanda says, Mr. P, you're awesome, John. Thanks. And Mishu says, you think that they were burning evidence. I saw that a few celebrities lost their homes. Now, I don't think they're burning evidence. I think probably an arson started the fire, or it could have been any number of things. I'm not blaming any person for it, but negligence and retardation is what caused the fire. Anyway, somebody started the fire, and then it got out of control pretty fast. I mean, because there's a lot of fuel there to burn. And when you have dry, humid areas that have a lot of fuel, they tend to go up fast. So that's what's happening. I don't think it's an evidence thing. I don't think that the fires are trying to hide something else. I think it's basically the same. If it is on purpose, it's the same thing that happened in Hawaii. It was a land grab. They burned everything down so they could get the land for pennies on the dollar and then resell it and make $1 billion. And that might be what's happening. I don't know. It's one of those things that could go either way. It could just be a natural disaster also. But it don't look that way. And the amount of negligence is staggering for it to be a natural disaster. Patty says, where were... there were a reservoir that was dry. Huh? Oh, yeah. They had a reservoir full of water, and they were trying to save this little fish called a smelt. It's about that big. It only lives in one spot. And they diverted all their water to the ocean and poured it out. They had water. They had enough water for 100 years. Poured it all out. Think about that. There was also a big lake up in Canada right above California. All they need to do is run a pipe down, and they got it. Why they won't do that, I don't know. Mishu says, I hope you, as a nation, will get through this. God bless. Well, I hope so too, Mishu, and thank you for the vote of confidence. And come back and see us. Where are you from, by the way? Walter Davis says, interesting how Biden said the federal government would cover the cost of the fines. Interesting, huh? At the same time, FEMA announced they're giving up on Appalachian hurricane victims. Giving up? I didn't know they had done anything in the first place. How are they giving up? They hadn't done anything. They're just washing their hands. They're just not doing anything. It's Me says, the hoverboard seen in Back to the Future movie is here. In California? Probably. I know that the car is, the original one. A long time it lived on the studio lot, Paramount. And it basically rotted, and some guy came in there and restored it. And they didn't even have any plans to do anything with it. And now it's making tours all around the country. People are hiring it out, and checking out whatever, the DeLorean is, I think it was. I'm in Romania, Europe, says Mishu. Do you know Andrew Tate? He's in Romania. Interesting. What it is Southern California knows it has high winds, and you think they would have an alert for that, so that the people can be ready when they take action. Well, yeah. Where I come from in Florida and Georgia, we have hurricanes, so we watch those pretty closely. We know when they're coming. It makes sense that if you were going to be destroyed, you would know it was coming. Pardon me. Throat's acting up on me today. It's Me says, this country is very divided. Scripture says, a house divided cannot stand, it falls. This is true. And Scripture also says that we'll be divided in the end, because there'll be people that don't believe in God and people that do believe in God. So division is kind of in our nature. I don't like it, but that's the way it is. Walter says, I believe the Appalachian hurricane victims were Trump voters, and L.A. is liberal Democrats. Yes, they were Trump voters, and most of them voted for Trump because their government didn't do anything for them when they needed them. That's what the government's for, folks. That's why you pay taxes. And if they're not going to do their job, Why have them there? Why don't we get a group of us together with, hammers and go up there and clean house? Because we'd be all arrested and January 6th all over again. Yeah, I know. Well, as long as we put up with that, these things are going to keep happening. You got to change the narrative. You got to be the change you want to see. Got to live that change. That being said, I'm too old to get into politics, so I'm just going to talk about it a lot and then live my life without any jail time. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not an activist. Don't care. I used to never vote at all until Trump in 2020, and I got interested in the things that were happening in the world because there were some things happening. And that's the first time I got into politics, and now I know just about everything to know about it, all the people, all the things, and I don't like it. I don't like where we live. Walter says, you get the government you vote for. This is true. If you do the voting, you can't complain when you get the people, because if you didn't look, that's your own fault, and they're there. You can look for them. You go look at Gavin Newsom. You go watch what he does. You go pay attention to that slick-haired, slimy guy with a fake grin and always platitudes and all of that. Real politician, real liar. That guy will say anything without hesitation, without remorse. You go watch that guy. Just pay attention to his body language. And then catch yourself when you decide to vote for him. And you'll know why you're getting that. That guy is a monster if I've ever seen one. We don't need more monsters. We need some regular people running the show. It's not going to last forever, but it's nice while we're here. Maybe we can get to our old age without all the tyranny and such. He is so slimy, Patty. I agree with you. Very slimy dude. He reminds me of a used car salesman. You know what I mean? Like, I just want a car, man, but I know you're not going to let me get out of here without buying a catalytic converter and a paint job and a warranty. I just want the car. I don't want all the other stuff. He does, says Patty. He does. Oh. It's one of those days. I wonder why Obama's wife wasn't with him at Carter's funeral, says It's Me. Well, if you were paying attention when he left the White House, they went separate directions as soon as they got out of the White House. He went to hang out with the dude that owns Virgin Mobile on a private island, and she went somewhere else, not there. And they didn't come back together for like 2 years. And then finally, they were seen together again. But I don't think it's all rosy in the Obama house. I think there's things going on. And I think that's probably why she wasn't there. And also, I've heard rumors that she don't want anything to do with politics ever again. She had her fill of it. That's my opinion. I don't know. That's what I've heard. So we'll see. But my guess is she just ain't going to show up to any of it. She don't want to be president because, they were floating for a while trying to get her to run for president. I don't think that's a good idea either. Just because she's some guy's wife that was the president does not mean she can make a good president. And there's a lot of backbiting going on, too. It's me. A lot of people are slighting each other by not showing up in attendance. It's passive-aggressive behavior, but that's what they do. Because she was exposed as a man, well, there's a lot of people that think that. I've seen pictures, man. There's definitely something swinging there. But I don't know for sure. All I know is what, I read. And what I read is the internet is full of deep fakes and people scamming other people for knowledge. You got to be really careful where you get your knowledge from because most of it out there is nonsense. So I don't have any idea whether she is or not. But I know there's a lot of people that say she is. And it fits. It looks right. Patty says, it's disgraceful. It is. Yeah, even if you had a bad president, if he dies, everybody should be there. He's the president, right? Even if he was bad. Notice that they did that with Trump. As soon as he got elected, all of the people that hated his guts started kissing the ring. You notice that? People are coming up, talking and working with him. I thought he was Hitler. If he's Hitler, why is everybody working with him? Why are all the people on the media now talking to him? You can't say a guy's Hitler and then, oh, it's no problem. We'll look past it. It's no big deal. You can't do that. If you thought he was a real threat to society, to the democracy, you would do anything you could to stop him. You would not be kissing the ring. So that whole thing is a little weird. What it is says, what would it be like if the states became ununited and each state became an individual country? That would be confusing, and it would make traveling very complicated. It would not be an ideal situation. Patty says, yes, sir. Walter Davis says, Carter was a good man, just a horrible president. I agree with that. I thought he was a good dude, smart. I just think he was a little weak, and he didn't want to, ruffle anybody's feathers. And he did dumb things like putting solar panels on the White House and a bowling alley, things like that. Didn't really get the hostages released or anything. So, ask his vice, says Fab Daddy. Who's his vice? Ask his vice. Ask whose vice? Ask his vice. I don't know what that means. You got to be more specific. It's me says, judge a person by their fruit. Right. Jimmy was for real a good man, yet not so well a good president. Right on. Well, people can be that, Everybody can't be intelligent. I say that all the time, but everybody can't be a great president either. It's like people ask me all the time, how do you like that man, Donald Trump? I said, are you under the impression that I have to like somebody personally for them to be the president of the United States? Do you think I don't understand what goes on in D.C.? I don't need to know what he looks like. I don't need to think he's a decent human being. I don't need to be his buddy. He just got to get the economy under control and get some protection. That's it. And fix some roads and put some kids in school and teach them math. That's it. That's all the government should be doing. I don't need to like him. I don't care if he's an arrogant jerk. Why would I care? That just means he's a shrewd businessman. It's weird. But I agree with you, it's me. You always judge a person by the fruit they bear, not the things they say. Because the things they say come out of a mouth which always lies. Fab Daddy says, J.D. Vance called Trump once Hitler. He did. And then he changed his mind. You know why? Because like so many other leftists, he finally met Trump. He had never met him before when he called him that. And he believed what everybody else said. Until you get in a room with Trump and all of a sudden, everything everybody else said doesn't seem so realistic because you're not seeing that in front of you. I don't know what this guy's problem is, but it ain't what everybody said it was because he's a normal, nice enough guy. That's why J.D. Vance is listening to him, because he didn't know. That's why he called him Hitler. You could forgive J.D. Vance for thinking that because all of Congress, all of the media, and everybody that works in Washington, D.C. was against Trump during his presidency. I'm not having a stroke. I can talk. So, yeah, you would forgive him for not knowing who Trump was. Walter says he did get the Egyptians and Israelis to sign with a peace treaty and move the SALT I talks with the USSR going. Well, that's good. Anytime we can get a peaceful ceasefire. Sorry, there's a stink bug on my microphone. Every time we can get a peaceful ceasefire, that's a step in the right direction. That means that many people are not going to be killing each other when everything falls apart. I don't know if he's going to succeed at that because there's a lot of animosity going on in the world. There's a lot of people that are not happy. So let's hope that cooler heads prevail and that more adults come to the table quickly, because all it would take is a couple of activists, a couple of people that are unhinged, and we got a world war on our hands. Remember what started World War II? There's a dude and a grenade in his car. That's all it was. Bill Bennett says, hey, guys. What's up, Bill? How you doing, buddy? Amanda says, hi. Bill, wish Amanda a happy birthday. It's her birthday today. Walter Davis says, Carter did those things. Right on. It's me says, I never mentioned I had a stroke 2 years ago, and God saved my life. I know why. Amen. Thank you. It's me, and thank you, God. We need all the help we can get with that. We are not in good shape as a people, and God probably knows that. But I'm glad you made it through that, and I'm glad that you obviously can communicate and get things done. I appreciate that you're not an invalid, so... only thing I can tell you about that is that life is hard sometimes, and the choices we make lead us to certain situations like having strokes. Undoubtedly, that came from a dietary situation or a blood pressure situation. I don't think there's anything you can do to avoid that in the world we live in. And I'm glad you survived it, though, because I want you here with me. Patty says, I remember Anwar Sadat and Began at Camp David. I don't know who those are. But they sound like they shouldn't be at Camp David. Why were they at Camp David? Walter Davis says, but he also gave away the Panama Canal for $1, mind you. He looked at it, he said, yeah, we don't need that. What we need Panama Canal for? It's just a river. Buy it from me for $1. It cost several $billion to make, I would imagine. I don't know how much they spent on it in that money from that time, but he sold it for $1, and that's insulting. What it is says, do people realize if Trump lost the presidency, what hell would take place? A possible another civil war could take place. Well, what it is, I don't think so. And I'll tell you why I don't think so. January 6th. Everybody has been talking about January 6th on the media since it happened, comparing it to 9/11 and World War II and any kind of other calamities that the world has suffered. And they're trying to put that in the same category, talk about it in the same way. Here's the problem with that. There were a bunch of old people in pajama bottoms that forgot to bring their guns. It wasn't an insurrection. It was a riot at best. It wasn't even a very well-organized riot. So the fact that they could jump on that says a lot of things. I wish that they didn't do that. But if Trump did not win his presidency, he'd probably be in prison or dead. I think that's the only thing keeping him alive right now is that he is the president. Because they've already tried to kill him like 3 times. I'm using they in air quotes. I don't know who they are. But they've tried to kill him like 3 times already. And they don't tend to stop trying to kill you when they start out with that, right? Walter says, did you see Saturday Night Live when Carter was the host on a skit? It was a call-in shutdown, and a young guy calls and says he's on acid. Funny. No, I didn't see that. And if I did, I don't remember it. I quit watching Saturday Night Live because they're not funny anymore. It's me says, hey, Amanda, only 21 again, huh? She's got 21 beat. Amanda says, I'm holding at 23. Thanks, Bill. I think that was, yep, that was his me. It's me ask if you were 21. Walter says, Carter says, just relax and listen to the Allman Brothers. Well, you can't go wrong with that. Now, I don't care what kind of problem you got in the world. If you just relax and listen to the Allman Brothers, it'll be all right. So I don't disagree with that advice. I kind of wish he was a little better on the economy and maybe did something with all those peanuts and soybeans that are all over Georgia. But whatever. Yeah, everybody's got to do their thing. Dakota Wright says, hey, friends. Hey, Dakota. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope your mom's doing well. Fab Daddy says, what would you think the world would be like if we all believed the scriptures. What do I think the world would be like? I think there'd be a lot less preachers, a lot less religions. I think that everybody would have a vested interest in what's coming in the future. I think that everybody that believed in the scriptures, if everybody did, I think they would probably be naive because most people don't believe in the scriptures. It takes faith to believe in the scriptures. Most people are intellectually aware they exist, but that doesn't mean that they believe it. Well, what does that mean? Well, here's the thing. I believe what I believe because I went out when I was very young and I dedicated my life to the pursuit of knowledge. I'm a seeker of knowledge. I have to know things. And so I went looking. I wanted to know what the real answer was because I saw all these conflicts. I saw all these questions that everybody seems to be asking and nobody answering them properly or the same junk over and over again. So I went looking and I found answers in the world. I found them right where the Bible says they would be, actually. So if I think everybody believed the Bible because everybody just believed it, I think that would be a terrible thing. If I think that everybody did the research and actually knew what they were believing, that would be wonderful. That's not going to happen. Amanda says, yes, and I was holding it 23. LOL. Thanks, Bill. That was Fab Daddy, I think. Dakota says, hey, friends. And Amanda says, yes, holding 21, holding it 23. No, you're not. Amanda says, hi, Dakota. Dakota says, hey, Amanda. Walter says, it wasn't even a riot. No one ran out with sneakers on the 6th. I was there. Right? Right? What about the riots that actually have taken place where people are burning things down and killing people? Nah, it's all right. Black Lives Matter. Do your thing. Anyway, the old people can't go to the place that they think is theirs because up until that day, everybody in the world, in the country, who thought that they were following the Constitution, who thought the government was about the Constitution, knows that the Constitution says that the government can't own property. That's the people's house. It says so in the building, right? It's got a moniker on it right on the top of the building, the people's house. So everybody thought, well, we pay taxes for this house. We pay the salary of the people that work there. We have every right to go in and see what's happening. That's what people were thinking. And they let them think that because then they used that against them. And now some of the people are still in prison today. And it's been a whole year. So think about that. It's not good. That whole thing, the pipe bomber and all the evidence coming out about that now, Governor Whitmer's kidnapping, AOC thinking they're trying to kill her in her office, which wasn't on the street where the rally was going on, or whatever. All of that is bad fruit. All of it. All of it is a insult to intelligent people who see what's going on. So, what do you do about it? Well, the only thing I know to do is vote them all out of office, get rid of them, fire them, and put some people in the job that take it seriously. But you'll have the same thing you have now with new people that you don't know if you do that. Because everybody's screwed up. Yeah, it was the worst riot in history because nobody brought a gun or any weapons at all. They might have brought a beer. And they were definitely wearing Crocs and pajama bottoms. And they were being led into the building by the cops. And, you know, their big idea was, let's find Nancy Pelosi's office, take a shit on her desk. That's the big thing that they were going to do. Does that sound like an insurrection? No. I hate that they even use that word in conjunction with what happened that day. Because that happens every election. People are there contesting. People are there voting. People are there doing all manner of things. Every single election, there's been that group of people at the White House or at wherever they were at, Capitol Building. And this time, it was a problem. This time. Because they followed Trump. Patty says, if only they had just realized and listened to the Allman Brothers. Right on. If only they'd relaxed and listened to the Allman Brothers. Dakota says, hey, Walter Davis. And Walter says, hi, Dakota. Sorry, my chat jumped. I found it. I can barely see anymore. I need to get some new glasses, folks. It's me, says Amanda. Smart cookie. Yes, she is. I was a big old drinking druggie at that age. God bless you. Yeah, we stay away from that stuff. I got enough problems without that. Hello, Uncle. What's up? Says Delarisol. Delarisol. I'm not your uncle, but you can call me that if you like. And hello, who are you? Where are you from? And why are you here? What do you want to talk about? Dillasol, welcome, says Amanda. And Dakota says, hi, Dillasol. I guess that's Dillasol. I don't know. Dillasol? Or is it Dillal? I can't tell. That's a word I'm not used to seeing. Dillasol says, thank you. And Amanda says, hi, Dillasol, welcome. And Dakota says, I think she is doing good. Who? Oh, Amanda? Well, of course she is. I even got producer notes yesterday in the podcast. That was funny. It's me, says, Allman Brothers, best song, Tied to the Whipping Post. I covered it in a band for years ago. Well, Whipping Post is a good song, but I prefer Melissa because it's got some chord choices in that song. If you play it correctly, the way they played it, you learn some new chords because there's new ways to do things. I love the way that it has that chromatic walk up and back down. It's beautiful. Whipping Post is just a conglomeration of back and forth. Bum, 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 bum. You know, that sort of thing. Little bluesy tricks, but it's not really clever. Melissa's clever. And so is One Way Out. Amanda says, LOL, it's me. I was 2 at 21. I'm 44. That's what I mean when I say 21 holding 23, 44. That's not how math works. If you were 21 and holding, that would be 42. If you were 23 and holding, that would be 47. Fab Daddy says 44 is a good number. I don't agree. I didn't like 44. I don't like any of the 40s. All my life, when I was a kid, people would tell me, wait till you get 20. You're going to be amazed. You'll feel so much better than you did as a teenager. Wait till you get 30. Your life will open up. You'll have all this energy and you'll feel like a new man. You'll be better at 30 than you ever were at 20. Wait till you get 40. It's going to be magnificent. You're going to have all kinds of drives and none of that ever happened. They lied to me. I'm still waiting for 20 to feel good. How did that happen? Bill Bennett says, and that's why God sent Jesus. Right on, buddy. Yeah, absolutely. Amanda says, no. No. Amanda says, it's no holding at 23. I don't know what you're saying. It's holding 23, which means I have 23 years hidden. You can't change the script. You were 23, and now you're 44. And if you're going to hold 23, you're not 44. I'm not going to argue with you about this. It's math. 44 is a good number, says Fab Daddy. I read that one already. It's me, says, no offense. Amanda, 'cause my mom taught me never to ask a lady her age. LOL. That's all right. That's an old thing. People don't do that anymore. Now they're happy to tell you. Also, chivalry's dead, for whatever that means. John H. is here. He says, hello, everybody. Hey, John. How are you, buddy? Are you working hard? Amanda says, it's all good. I've accomplished a bit to get here. Right on. Me too. Not nearly what I wanted to accomplish, but I'm here. Amanda says, hi, John. I wish my chat would stop jumping. I get lost. Here we go. Bill Bennett says Trump should pardon all of them. I agree. I think if they did something violent, if they were participating in breaking windows and, being part of how Ashley Babbitt got shot and that sort of thing, yeah, I think they should do some jail time, because you can't act like that in public. That's against the law, right? Yeah, you should be in trouble for that. However, they were incited to do that by the FBI, who was apparently, a lot of them in that crowd were FBI, and the police were letting them in. So the ones that were breaking windows and stuff were clearly agent provocateurs. They were not part of the group that was there, because those people were just wandering around taking pictures and being happy to be in the people's house. So there's a stark contrast. There's people that look like Trump supporters and then people that are Trump supporters. Guess which ones are going to jail? Not the ones that did anything, the ones that didn't. And they didn't do anything. They were just in the people's house, which is not trespassing. So the government's wrong. They should pardon all those people. Walter says, Black Lives Matter bummed a few blocks of a couple of weeks before. They burned a few blocks a couple of weeks before the 6th, and no arrests. Yeah, they also burned a city. That whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing, that's one of the things they were doing, burning that place while he was protecting that store. And a guy died in that fire. As far as I know, it was like a pawn shop, and the guy was in the pawn shop, and he died. So, yeah, they're guilty of killing people. Nobody died, all right? I know you hear this all the time on the news. Let me clarify. 5 people died on January 6th, and not one of them had anything to do with the riots at January 6th. They were all health-related. The cop that was there died of a stroke 2 days after January 6th. He was not hit with a fire hydrant. The only person that died on January 6th was Ashley Babbitt, and she was unarmed when she got shot in the face climbing through a window. And she was all of 80 pounds soaking wet, so real threat, She was shot by a guy who is notorious for leaving his gun in the bathroom when he goes to the bathroom, takes it out of his holster and puts it on the sink and leaves it there for anybody to find. He's done that 2 or 3 times. He's not a good cop. So what does that mean? I don't know. I don't like the way the story's being told. What it is says, don't be surprised if Trump pardons all involved with January 6th. I won't be. I think he has a right to do so. I mean, look at all the people Biden has been pardoning left and right on his way out. Sex traffickers and judges that have been responsible for kickbacks and murders and all kinds of things. Hunter Biden, who he promised he would not pardon because he did wrong. Bill Bennett says, I'm glad Trump got cheated and screwed in 2016, and he has grown a lot since. Yeah, he has. Monkey Juice says, this time, there's a difference. The difference is they destroyed America's holy ground. America doesn't have holy ground. We're not a church. Remember separation of church and states? They don't have holy ground, and they didn't destroy anything. They were tourists. The people that were destructive were paid to be there. That's why they don't have any arrests. That's why, what was that guy's name that was all over TV? The one everybody called a Fed immediately. I can't think of his name. Bill something or other. Anyway, that's why he hasn't been arrested. Ray Epps, that's him. He hadn't been arrested or charged with anything, and despite the fact that he was caught on camera urging people to go in and cause trouble in the Capitol. And they all said, no, we're not doing that. That's not why we're here. Believe it or not, Monkey Juice. People that like Trump actually do appreciate peacefully protesting. We agree with that. Sorry. That would piss off the left, is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, it would. Rachel says, hi. Hey, Rachel. Sonny says, love the hat, mister. I'm from New York State. What's up, Sonny? Welcome to the show. Thank you. This is my dark MAGA hat. I got it for Christmas. I love it. It's not parting from my head. I even managed to get my headphones on over top of it. So I'm happy about it. Thank you. I'm sorry you're in New York State. That's a rough place to live. But maybe it's upstate where the Catskills are and you won't have to put up with all that nonsense. Amanda says, hi again, Rachel. And hi, Sonny. Walter Davis says, Bill, there were some bad actors that did fight with cops for no reason. And Sonny says, from the Catskills. Well, there you go. See? Jake knows a thing or two about geography. Yeehaw. Monkey Juice says, nothing pisses off the left anymore. It is what it is. Well, the left is eating itself, and it is in collapse right now because they overplayed their hand. And now we're having a swing back towards sanity. I don't know how far it's going to go, and I imagine it'll take another 10 years to get rid of the wokeness, but it's going away. People are starting to wake up and see that that's not the way they want to live. I don't know how it got so prevalent so fast, but it did. I guess like any good cult. There you have it. John says, happy birthday, Amanda. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Amanda says, thanks, John. I did. Yeah, I said that. 21 plus 23 equals 24. I did say that. That's not what I said, though. I said 23 and 44, not 21 and 23. If you're holding 23, that means you're 23 twice. You won't be 44. See? All right. What it is says, this is the oath that those take when joining to the military. They're supposed to serve at the pleasure of the president. Then none of them are doing that. Monkey Juice says, Constitution. Right on. I'm a big believer in that document, and I think it should be enshrined in everything we do and never, ever changed, because that's why we are the most successful country in the world. That's why we're the superpower, because of that document. Believe it. Fab Daddy says, dinner's cooked. Now I can relax and enjoy this cup of coffee. I hear you, buddy, right here. I didn't get no dinner tonight. I've been going nonstop. Tired. No food. Linda says, I'm going to stop counting in 2 years. Right on. 60 is my max, Amanda. No more birthdays after that. I hear you. I don't no more after 50. I never thought I'd make it to 50. I thought I'd be dead by now. I'm still here. Still kicking. When I was 6 years old, I had a premonition that 2025 would be my last year, and that made me 50. Well, it's 2025, and I've never forgotten that premonition. So we'll see what happens. I'm game for whatever. By the way, if you guys hadn't checked out our Facebook page, there it is in the chat. Go by facebook.com/UntetheredLive family. It's all one word, Untethered Live Family. It's a great place to keep up with each other outside of the show and send pictures and texts and videos, and also keep up with all things Untethered Live Universe right there in one spot outside of the show, where you don't have to be tied to YouTube while you're doing it. So check it out, facebook.com/UntetheredLive family, and I appreciate it very much. Patty says, thank you, Amanda and Jake. I'm going to rest now. America, peace, and prayers. Thank you, Patty. God bless you. Amanda says, good night, Patty. See you tomorrow. It's me, says bedtime. Have good night, YouTubes. It's me. Get some rest, buddy. We love you, and don't work too hard. Amanda says, LOL. Damn, maybe I should do that at 45. Right. Bad math works better when you're old. Amanda says, good night, it's me. And Walter says, the only window broke when the Capitol Hill cop was explaining how after 9/11, the windows were hardened and bulletproofed. So a guy picks up a rock off of the ground and says, "This won't break it." I don't know if that happened or not, but it sounds like something they would do. All right. Linda Davis says, "Good night, it's me and Patty." Walter Davis says, "Cops say no way." Guy hurls the rock, and it goes right through. Cop's first words were something like, "They effing lied." Surprised, right? Shocked. The government lies. Monkey Juice says, "LOL, tourists show up with bear spray and gallows. The gallows were made out of cardboard. It was clearly a joke. It wasn't hanging anybody. And bear spray, you can buy that at Walmart. What are you saying? What are you saying? Every woman on college campus has mace. Every single one of them. What are you saying exactly, Monkey Juice?" Gallows. You actually believe that? Did you look for yourself? Do you believe that Trump said there were fine people on both sides? If so, go watch the video in its entirety and look at the context. I think you'll be disappointed. The gallows were this big, probably a little bigger, but they were made out of cardboard. Come on. "I was there to witness that," says Walter. Well, am I wrong? Was it a joke? It was a joke, right? They didn't seriously intend to kill Mike Pence. Come on now. Walter says, "That gallows was at every event from Richmond to Harrisburg." So they were carrying it around. That wasn't just a January 6th thing. It happens to be in play. Political speech, I would imagine. Protected under free speech. Linda Davis says, "Sonny, I grew up in Camel, New York, in the Catskills." Nice. Are they as beautiful as everybody says they are? That's where comedy was born, by the way, the Catskills. First comedy acts were a variety show where they would do tap dancing and jokes and characters like a Carol Burnett show, but it was on a stage. They did it like a play. And that's where comedy comes from. I mean, American comedy, not the idea of comedy. Walter says, "I think we should go back to the Confederate papers. Rock on. South will rise again." I'm with you. Walter Davis says, "Sorry. Arrival of Confederacy." Right on. Articles. I hear you, buddy. I have no problem with Confederacy. I'm a Confederate. I'm also patriotic. So, I will never go to your country and start any shit. Ever. I'll never go to your house and start any trouble. But if you come to my house, we're going to dance. And I have an arsenal in the basement, and I've been dying to shoot something with it. So, come on. What it is the fellow that cooked his feet on nasty the fellow that propped his feet up on Nasty Pelosi's desk is from the country next from where I live. From the county next to where I live. Excuse me. I knew that was coming. Got a cold. What it is says the fellow that propped his feet on Pelosi's desk is from the county next to where I'm from, and another was recently charged from Town, Arkansas. I don't know anything about that. Bless you, Jake. Thank you. Just about blew my brains out. Did you see that? Yeah, I don't know where the guy came from. I know that there was somebody that went into Pelosi's office, and I think they were trying to shit on the desk or something like that. I don't know. I heard Jimmy Dore talking about it, so he may have been being hyperbolic. But they didn't do anything wrong. They just were there. They were just sightseeing. That's all. Come on. Anybody with common sense knows that. All right. We made it to the bottom of the chat. Walter says our first Constitution was the Articles of Confederacy. It had a very weak federal government, strong on states' rights, and then it says rebellion happened at the federal government. Couldn't stop it. Well, yeah, that's kind of what unions do. From the very moment the 13 colonies were established, they were under threat because they wanted to unionize and make it the United States. Well, the 13 colonies didn't want to do that, or at least some of them didn't want to do that at first. And they had to go through a war to make up their mind that they were going to do it. Now, if you go to school in this decade, you'll hear that that war was racist and that it was all about slaves. Slaves were there, yes, but it was about commerce. It was not about slavery. Anyway, what it is he's from Gravette, Arkansas. Well, that's where Shepherd's Chapel is, right? Gravette. Wow. Is it true that Arkansas is literally flat as a pancake? Walter says the Constitution was written and replaced it to make a stronger federal government. Yes, well, it is strong, and it is quite a good organization. They put a lot of thought into that document. They really toiled over it for quite a while. It wasn't a quick thing at all. And they intentionally tried to institute a government that did not work like their previous government did, wherein everything's an oligarchy and the big people are in charge. He wanted checks and balances, or they wanted checks and balances. They wanted a new kind of government, and they got it, and it works. It's not the best thing in the world. It's sloppy, but it works, and it's responsible for us having everything we have. So if you don't like it, chances are you're going to end up living in a shithole country at some point. It's just my opinion. All right. We made it to the bottom of the chat, and I'm going cross-eyed. So I'm going to bed. Have a good night, everybody. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow night for Bible study. Have a great night. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chats. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.